understand that you believe that Tutu Atwell will have a role this year, but the lack of targets available has been highlighted by Tyler Higbee's lack of production. How exactly do you see him playing? Great question, Nolan. So, essentially, I see Tutu Atwell being the fourth receiver. I don't see him necessarily taking over Tyler Higbee's targets, but I think he'll be in competition, and I think when you look at what Tutu Atwell can do, they will be able to utilize him in different ways. I would actually love to see him in the backfield, and that's what I expect the Rams to do. Kind of mix and match. Play him on the outside, play him in the slot, play him in the backfield by himself, playing him in the backfield split back with a Cam Akers or Darrell Henderson paired with him. Maybe running even a three-back set with him in there. I do think they're going to utilize him in the running game, and I do think it's the right approach. You want to take him and use his abilities, and sometimes it's not pretty, right? He was a true receiver at Louisville, doesn't get enough credit. No, he wasn't Tavon Austin. Go and watch the tape. I'm telling you, he had way more receiver level traits than Tavon. Tavon was more of a gadget altogether. You talk about a Percy Harvin, you talk about somebody like that. That was what Tavon Austin was. Whereas I kind of get, the Deshaun Jackson vibes out of Tutu Atwell. Very similar, shorter guy. Deshaun Jackson fell to the second round. That is kind of the vibe I'm getting. Him, Donnie Avery, guys that weren't just burners, but are also good receivers and aren't just a gadget guy, so to speak. So with that said, since I don't think Tutu Atwell is a gadget guy, or since I do think Tutu Atwell is somewhat of a gadget guy, but I also think he's really good as a receiver. I think he has that ability. He's not Tavon, but I do think if you're trying to get a guy involved in the offense and there's not a lot of opportunities, then you sometimes have to sacrifice that. And I think Tutu will take anything that he can do to help the team. He's helped them on special teams. Didn't get any opportunity to play on the offense. I think he'll do whatever he can to get offensive snaps. So at the end of the day, I do expect Tutu Atwell to have carries, and that'll be in my projection video. And I do expect him to have receptions as well. He'll be the fourth receiver this year. And I think they're going to wait a little bit on Jacob Harris. I could absolutely be wrong, and I'm very high on his overall ceiling and potential, and I think he's going to meet that someday. But I think right now, I've kind of checked my attitude at the door as opposed to last year where I was, comparing him to Megatron. Of course, athletically speaking, not really, like what he would be. But athletically, he is like a carbon copy of Megatron. Just the thing is, he only played football for 2 years. He was a soccer guy. So he's got to learn the position. He's got to learn at an NFL level. I think that it will take time. And so for that reason, I'm going to go with Tutu Atwell, who showed you the ability to run NFL level routes at Louisville and was arguably held back. And a lot of yards were on that field, left on that field, because of the lack of quarterback play and production in his last year. So that is my thoughts on Tutu Atwell, why I think he's going to have a bigger role this year. Some people may disagree, but I do think as well as I like the running game the way it is, I like Cam Akers, I like Darrell Henderson, I like Kyron Williams, but I do think he is going to be utilized in that running game because it's a different type of body. It's a different type of runner. It's harder to bring down guys when you don't know their tendencies. And the Rams can mix and match what they want to do. Teams are going to be like, all right, we're reading the scouting report. They're going to go with Cam here. We know they're going to go with Cam here. They go with Darrell Henderson. You don't know how to stop Henderson. Now all of a sudden you figure out Henderson and you got to worry about Kyron, who runs completely different than Henderson and Cam Akers. And then on top of that, once you figure out how to stop Kyron, now you have to worry about Tutu Atwell. And you could start to see how if Sean McVay can mix them up well, it's going to be incredibly difficult for a defense to fully stop any of those guys, at the, in the running game. So that is a big thing there. I think if you, keep it mixed up, and it's almost like the way I would explain it for just simple terms is you baseball fans out there, you know how you see pitchers that have, say, 3-4 pitches, sometimes even 5 pitches in the MLB. They'll throw a screwball. They'll throw all sorts of stuff, like a 4-seam, a 2-seam, a cutter, a Vulcan change, whatever it may be, right? A slider, a sinker, a curve, a knuckle curve. There's so many different pitches out there, a palm ball, a fork ball. I could go on. But here's the thing. If you don't mix your pitches well, it doesn't matter. So that's the thing. If you just are constantly, oh, well, the curveball is my go-to strikeout pitch, that's great. But if I know now that you're going to throw the curveball on every single strikeout opportunity, I think I know that I can guess that you're going to throw the curveball. You got to keep them honest. And so, yes, when you come out of the huddle, you break the huddle, and Tutu Atwell's in the backfield and no one else is in the backfield, yeah, Tutu Atwell is running the ball. But it's mixing your pitches. It's giving them different type of bodies to tackle. It's giving them a different type of speed, a different type of shiftiness. Wide receivers run way differently than running backs normally, right? So that's a big thing there, and I think that's how I would use it, and I think that's how the Rams plan on using this running back room, and how the Rams plan on giving reps to Tutu Atwell, who's desperately trying to find those reps in the NFL.